2019 in a box. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is basically the partner to the penguin mug I showed you not too long ago, like what, 1 or 2 videos ago. And again, I think I got them at Walmart or someplace, and it's been at least 10 years, probably a little longer. And it used to have a little, this one has reindeer on it, and it used to have a little reindeer stuffed creature in it. I don't know what happened to any of the stuffed creatures, unfortunately, which is unusual because I tend to keep those. But there's our coffee mug for today. And today's tea is our final tea for December from our December Sips by box. And that is the Tease Golden Slumber Rooibos Tisane. This liquid lullaby features notes of velvety smooth chocolate, golden strands of calendula, and South African red rooibos. Sweet dreams guaranteed, caffeine free. It is a chunkier tea. It does have a lot of parts that are, they're not as small as what you get in your traditional store brand, but they are a lot smaller than most of our other chunky teas. Excuse the hair, we're still dealing with it. I'm going to be dealing with it till they're longer. Anyway, so let's go ahead and give this a taste. She's really hot. I don't think she has steeped quite long enough. She's really hot, so we'll go ahead and give it a taste and we will get started. Ooh, I hope she tastes as good as she smells. You get that chocolate in that smell. That smells good. Oh God. Okay, so she is just a touch over sweetened. That usually seems to happen at the beginning of the video. It's hard to work around the chocolate, to be honest with you. I mean, the sugar, to be honest with you. But I do get a hint of the chocolate. I don't know what calendula is supposed to taste like, but the rest of it tastes really good. I can't wait to see what that's like when it's reached full strength. So today I am going to go through my favorites for the year of 2019. And I tried to do this one a little bit differently this year. As you recall, last year I had to break it up in 2 separate videos because it was humongously long. And part of the reason for that was that I basically grabbed in anything that I was using that was a favorite that year, and it didn't matter if I'd used it before or not. So like my Klairs freshly juiced vitamin E mask showed up both years, and so this year I wanted to do it a little bit differently. And in the opening little clip you saw that it's a big box. However, I did cut things down. My qualifications were that overall, I prefer to have been introduced to it in 2019. It is something that obviously I love and have used frequently, or it's a brand that I love and am buying a lot from, I guess would be the best way to put it. Or that it was introduced towards the end of 2018 and I just didn't get into it until this year, or just something that up until this year, it was not used a lot. Probably has not been something that it's probably introduced to me this year. Something to just try to bring it down. And I do have things for hair care, obviously, skin care, and makeup. Plus, I have one other little thing that's kind of skincare related. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first things I want to talk about are the teas that I repurchased. I'm not going to talk about them very extensively, partly because it's been a long time for the teas. But I have a few teas that I got in my tea boxes that I wouldn't mind repurchasing or buying on their own. And most of these came from my Sips By. So amongst those teas are the Saffron Rooibos from Tamina Teas. That was a really good tea. I have 2 Tisane teas. I believe the last time we discussed tea, I had a Tisane tea in December, and I said that I really like the Tisane teas. I really like the Tisane teas. I have the turmeric, vanilla, and cinnamon, and I have the turmeric and chamomile. So those 2. Then also from our, is there a little bit in there? No, that's just the way the packaging feels. Damn it. Another one that I really like that I would like to replace and get more of is the Siesta Tea Immunity Fireside Spices. I recall that this was a really nice Christmassy type tea. Now I really want to get a hold of it again right now, but anyway. And the next one, actually this one was not from where I thought it was. It's just the packaging that made it look that way. The next one is from the Tea Pigs Fruit and Spice. So those are the teas that I would really love to get more of sometime soon. You can see that most of them are kind of desserty teas. They're not standard in terms of your tea flavors, you know. Rooibos, and well, there is a Rooibos, but they have other flavorings, and most of those flavorings tend to be towards the fruitier, sweeter side. They're very nice teas. I keep this little package, and every time I find a new tea that I really would like to try again, it goes in the little package. So the next thing I have is the Purifying Plus Charcoal Detox Shampoo. As you recall, I got this in a curl box, and I said it was a really good clarifying type shampoo. Well, the last time I used it, it left my hair really, really dry. So as with all the shampoos that I decide no longer work for me, this ended up going to my body wash, and then I noticed something really cool. This has coconut, charcoal, and kaolin clay in it. And as a heavyset woman, I have specific issues that I deal with. And also I would get things like little tiny pimples on my shoulders and across my back. All of those things, they didn't disappear, but they've reduced significantly, and I mean significantly, a lot. So I have already purchased another bottle of this, not for shampoo, but for a body wash, and I bought it on sale because I believe this is a $7 or $8 shampoo, somewhere around there, and I got it on sale for about $6, I think. So, which is still kind of high for me for a body wash, but considering the problems that it is reducing, I don't mind paying that. If they ever come out with something like this in an actual body wash that's cheaper, I'd buy it, but for now, I'm really happy with this. All right, so next we're going to get into some hair care. You knew that was coming, and I'm going to have to dig some of this stuff up. What I'm going to try to do is talk about the lines in total rather than the individual items, even though you will see individual items. And I'm going to start with the Eden Body Works Papaya Castor line. I actually love most of this line. I think this was another curl box introduction, and I think only one or two things were kind of problematic for me. One was a mousse, and it was a conditioning mousse, and I didn't find it very conditioning. And the other one was called there was the curl jam, and then there was something else. And something else I didn't like. I couldn't find a purpose, the hairdress or something like that. This is the scalp cleanser and the scalp serum. I use this when I am co-washing. I use this directly on my scalp while I use another product on my actual hair. And then I use this first thing after I get out of the shower to put directly on my scalp. It is supposed to help with itching and other issues of that nature, plus it's supposed to help with growth because it has stuff that's supposed to help stimulate the follicles. It is not a pepperminty kind of thing, so if you don't like, say, the peppermint tree, this would be a good one for you to try. This is very cleansing without being stripping, and like I said, I do like the rest of the line as well. I've already got backups of both of those. So next is a mask that really surprised me. I don't have a problem with Shea Moisture in general. I do find that their products are very heavily scented and that I can get similar results with other products. I have one others of theirs that I like to use, but I wouldn't say it's a favorite, and honestly, I'm probably going to use it up and not purchase it again. I might, we'll see. But this one thing, I used it on my hair, and when I used it for I've used it as a regular mask, and I've used it for a deep treatment. And oh my God, And that's the Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil Strengthen and Restore Treatment Mask. This is amazing for my hair. Makes my hair soft. It makes it moisturized. It's amazing for my hair. The slip is good. It's just, like I said, with any of them, the biggest problem is the scent because they do perfume. It is a very thick mask. Yeah, that's not moving anywhere. Or it's not going anywhere. You can tell it's very, I'm getting the scent now. It smells like vanilla. So it's not as big a problem as some of the more floral scents they put out. But it smells a lot like vanilla. It's very moisturizing. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing. Did I say amazing enough? Amazing mask. Really like it. Probably will get more of it after this one is gone. I do have a bunch of masks that I rotate, so it might be a while. I'm trying to get through a couple of them to put into my Reverse Rouge before I film in January. It's gonna be that late, guys. But yes, I highly recommend this mask. If you have curly hair in particular, you could try it if you have straight hair. But this is an amazing mask. It's astounding. The next line that has become an absolute favorite for me is the Adwoa Baomint line, particularly the leave-in conditioner and the oil. This is still the sample oil. Oils last a long time. The leave-in conditioner, this is their leave-in conditioning styler. This has become my holy grail. This is like almost the only leave-in I use. So I have right now in full size, I have the leave-in conditioning styler and I have the curl defining gel. Now they say to use either their curl defining cream, which is the other one that I need to get at this point, or the curl defining gel individually. Today I used the gel, no curling cream at all, and I'm not particularly happy with the results. I think I absolutely need the cream. But beyond that, using small amounts of both the cream and the gel, my hair usually comes up really nice, the curls are beautiful. You can tell the hair is healthy, it's shiny. The Baomint oil is really good. When you use the shampoo, you can feel the tingle in your scalp, but it's not overwhelming. This is a beautiful line. This has become my reset line. It used to be another line, but this has become my reset line for the most part. And like I said, I use almost nothing else as a leave-in other than their leave-in styling cream. So, conditioning styler. Highly recommend the line. You may have to buy full sizes and bits and pieces. They do have a travel kit type of thing that is about $40 that you can get to try everything and then pick what you want in full sizes. And I can't recommend them enough. It's a beautiful line. And yes, I will keep trying to buy that one too. Speaking of oils, I do have another oil. This is a recent oil. This is the Ebates Dry Remedy Oil. This is really, really new, as you know, but it has already become something I absolutely adore. I mix these two quite frequently. They work very well together, and this stuff does amazing things for my hair. It gives it more shine, gives it more curl. My hair just loves this oil. You only need a drop or two. Come on, there we go. It has a beautiful sheen on the hands, and it just does amazing things for the hair. It helps with my curl. I can tell it's helping with the any dryness on the ends. It gives me shine, and it it's and it gets rid of frizz. This is a $32 oil, but I will be repurchasing it. It's an amazing, amazing oil. I'm in love with it. So yes, we are going to do this one again. So last but not least in my hair care, as you guys shouldn't be surprised, is the Eden Body Works Coconut Shea line. In particular, the Natural Cleansing Co-Wash. There's also the Elixir, which I did not bring out. Both of those are holy grails. This is the co-wash I use 90% of the time, 99% of the time when I'm using a co-wash. I have another co-wash that I'm using right now, but that's just for testing purposes. I don't see it becoming a favorite. This is really nice. It is actually cleansing enough. It can get gunk out of my hair that I don't want, like Like the other day, I tried a stiffer hold gel that I'm used to. Did not like the feel of it in my hair, and this got rid of it. It got rid of the gel, it got rid of some of the other stuff. And yet, while it's doing that, it leaves my hair feeling soft and moisturized. Nothing is dry, not even my ends. And so, yeah, the coconut shea line. I like this. I like the souffle pudding. I like the curling cream. I like the elixir. All of these are items that I use quite frequently. I use the elixir every day, literally every day, because it helps with frizz, and it's an amazing line. I highly recommend it. So that is everything in my hair care for 2019. We are now going to move on to skincare. Now, like I said, I'm trying to stick with stuff that I've only recently been introduced to, that I've only recently really started to get into. So I've only got a few items. I have a cleanser, I have a moisturizer, I have a serum, and I have an eye cream. So let's take a look at those. One of the brands that I continually recommend to people is Derma E. And that's because I use this cleanser and I use this sensitive skin moisturizing cream. This cleanser is the Hydrating Gentle Cleanser in the blue bottle. It is very gentle. It does get dirt off. The only thing I think I have an issue with it is some of those more stubborn mascaras can be harder to get off. But other than that, it really seems to get all my makeup off. I've used my little pads after it, and they come up clean after this, or fairly clean, as clean as I expect with a cleanser. And but my skin is left very soft. It's not left dry. It's a really, really nice cleanser. So if you're looking for something that is very gentle, I highly recommend this. They do have the sensitive skin cleanser. I have tried it. I much prefer this one. And then this is their, like I said, their sensitive skin moisturizing cream. I only use this in this area and on my cheeks, maybe a little bit up into under my under eyes. And the reason is because one of the things that this ended up helping with is redness in those areas. When I first started using this, I wouldn't say it was it was really red, but to me it was noticeable. I think to other people it could be noticeable if I wasn't wearing makeup too. There was just spots of red right around my nose. I would get it up in here and a little bit on my cheeks. Since I started using this cream, which is an interesting color, it's not white, it's kind of a beigey, reddy brown kind of color. I don't know if you can see that at all. But since I've used this, the redness in here is completely gone. The redness in here is greatly reduced. And I think most of the redness in here, if I get redness in here now, it's because there's something else going on with my skin. So I highly recommend this if you have redness in your skin. It does seem to help with that. If you use small amounts, very small amounts, you can layer it over another moisturizer, which is how I use it. My only complaint is it does not have the little thing that says when it expires on the jar. It may have had it on the box, but I never noticed. But that's a small thing in comparison to anything else. And I would probably continue to use it until it looked like it was turning or something. But again, recommend it. It leaves your skin soft. As you go really light on the amount, then you can layer it with whatever other favorite serum or moisturizer or both that you prefer. And it should help, like I said, it helps with my redness quite a bit. So if you have redness, consider getting this. It's in the green jar. It is the Sensitive Skin Moisturizing Cream. I have been trying a lot of serums of late. A lot of them are amazing, but 99% of them, 95% of them are out of my price point. I can't afford a $90 serum. I just can't. Not at 1 ounce, not at 2 ounces, not at 3 ounces. So I tried this serum as a sample and I fell in love with the sample, and I have purchased the full size. This is the Air Repair Serum. This is $26. It is a full ounce, I believe. Yes, it's 1 full ounce. It is an air pump, so it will last a little while. It does have a 12-month expiration thing on it, but it is, it's a nice light white serum. It is very easy to control it in terms of how much you're pumping. As you can see, it's kind of on the looser end. It's very light. It's not greasy. It gives you moisture that you need. It's really, really nice. And it's very, very affordable for someone like me who can't spend $90 to $100, $300, whatever. I've seen serums for some insane prices. Honestly, guys, I think it's too much. I think you can get away with drugstore priced items for a lot of the skincare that's out there for insane amounts. And this would be one of them that what I would recommend. The next thing is Mario Badescu. As you all know, I really like Mario Badescu. I have their anti-acne serum. I have started using their facial spray with aloe cucumber green tea. I've been using that all year long. I like the fact that it actually helps freshen up my face. It smells good. It makes my skin look a little more dewy. It's really nice. I have a smaller version of that bottle in my purse to carry with me on hot days. Not that I think I'm going to have to worry about that for a while. I think we finally hit full winter. Anyway, the one that I did want to talk about is the Mario Badescu Ceramide Herbal Eye Cream. This is so nice. You all know that I really liked another one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'll probably add it down below. That I've been trying to use up, and I finally used it up, and this is my main eye cream now. This is beautiful. It's a light green. As you can see, it is very, very emollient. You do not need to use a lot on your eyes. Thins out beautifully, leaves your eyes moisturized and everything. And while it has not gotten completely rid of my dark circles, it has lightened them significantly. I'm not, it's one of the reasons I actually picked it up is because somebody said it helped with their dark circles. They must not have had very deep dark circles. I wouldn't say mine are hugely dark, but they are not really light in to begin with. But this did lighten them up. It just hasn't gotten rid of them. It has helped some with my texture. It has not made that go away, but I suspect that nothing will. I've tried so many different eye creams to get that to work. The ice cream guy is trying to drive through, so music in the background. Anyway, but again, it is something I really recommend. It is $30 for 1 ounce, I think. No, for 0.5 ounce. Eye creams are expensive. That's how I will notice. It has an expiration date of 6 months. I do already have a backup. I'm trying to get through this one also for my Reverse Rouge. Also because it's getting along the lines of 6 months. However, I would use it until it started to look like it was starting to go. Again, highly recommend it. I really do like Mario Badescu overall as a brand. Really, look at them up. And what's nice about them is they're not necessarily drugstore priced, but they are not super expensive. Derma E, Mario Badescu, the Air Repair, you can find what you need on those sites, and you do not need to pay a fortune. You could probably get cheaper cleansers somewhere. I just haven't tried any that I've liked. So, all right, so now we're finally going to move on to makeup. So let's get to the base. Let's do the basics of our face first, you know, our foundational kind things. I'm going to start with the concealer. I have actually really come to like the new CoverGirl TruBlend Undercover concealer. I have it in 2 shades. I use the shade Warm Nude underneath my foundation. It is just the right color of kind of a peachy warm brown. It's a little bit more orangey than my skin, which actually works on a concealer. Just a little bit more orangey than my skin, which works on a concealer. And it really works to help with the circles under my eyes. So, and any leftover redness or anything that I need to deal with, I put this over it. And I really love the feel of it. It is very creamy. It's very smooth. I've heard or been told that this is very, very similar to the Tarte Shape Tape, but this costs a lot less. This costs somewhere between $8 and $10, I think, whereas the Shape Tape is twice that at least. And so I highly recommend it if you're giving it a try, if you're looking for something affordable that is similar to that, and for some reason you're still not buying from Tarte. They've made up for it. I would buy from Tarte again now. They've made up for it. But that said, if you are looking for a good concealer, this is really nice. I also have the color light nude, and I need to find a slightly different one. This one is just a little too neutral for my skin. I need a slightly warmer undertone, just a little bit. And I don't know if I'm going to find it in the lighter colors for my highlighting. So there's that one. I use that under my eyes. I use it on the bridge of my nose, on my chin, and on my forehead to highlight over my foundation. So this one goes underneath one. This one goes on top. I'm going to see the color difference. But I really like these. I even have, I had fallen in love with the Juvia's Place concealer. But as you know, I'm not buying from Juvia's Place now because their owner is, I don't know. Anyway, and I have the, which one are you? Joey concealers. I've really enjoyed those, but I actually like this one better, and the price point is better, so highly recommend those. And then I have two foundations to recommend, and the first one is the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid, and the second is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. Now there's the interesting thing. These two shades look like they're very, very different, but they're actually very, very similar. I think the e.l.f. Flawless is just a touch warmer. I have to be careful. Got a lot. I was trying to be careful. Anyway, so there is the Maybelline and there is the e.l.f. Yeah, the e.l.f. is just a little bit more peachy, I think. At any rate, the Maybelline, well, first of all, they both have really beautiful finishes. They're kind of on the, I would say the satin end. They're not necessarily dewy. They're more skin-like for me. So they're very soft. They're not dry, which is really good because apparently since menopause, my skin has started to dry out. I'm starting to notice more issues when I powder. But anyway, so they both have a really nice satiny, almost skin-like finish to them. They take to almost any powder very well. They are also excellent mixers, and I really like to mix them with the Sephora 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation. So if you want something more high-end, I highly recommend this. It has a similar finish, but not quite as good. These two, though, have this beautiful finish, and the e.l.f. in particular lends that finish to almost any other foundation I've mixed it with. So I'm wearing them both today. I like to blend them together, but I also mix them with the Sephora. I do mix them with the CoverGirl. I have to be careful with that. My CoverGirl TruBlend is also just a touch too nude. I've been noticing lately it's a touch too nude. But anything I mix them with almost, I've noticed there was problems with the Juvia's Place and one other, the Pacifica. They didn't work real well with those two. But in general, they're great. They're great for if you want to extend a high-end foundation and bring down the price of what you're using. If you want to use them for color adjusting, they do that fairly well as well. And they just, see, they dry into almost the same shade. So I love them both. However, that said, this one does not have a whole lot of shades. So for repurchasing, I will more than likely go for the e.l.f. It's cheaper by a few dollars. I think this is like $6. And this has, they've recently done an expansion on the number of shades. So this one has between 30 and 40 or over 40 shades, something like that. It has a lot of shades, so you should be able to find a shade to match you. Whereas with this one, I think I was lucky to find one. This actually almost perfectly matches my skin, especially when I'm transitioning from winter to summer and summer to winter, you know, through fall or spring. It's actually really almost a perfect match for that. But there are so few shades that I really consider myself having been lucky to find this, to have it in a shade that I can use and also be a foundation that looks good on my face. Whereas this one, I could go in and shuffle around and see if there's something lighter or darker depending on what's going on, depending on what part of the season I'm in. I don't think I'd have the luck with that with this one. Love them both. Recommend them both if you can find your shade. If you can't find your shade in this one, look in here. So we've got a few things here. Most of these are box introductions, not all of them. I basically picked these out because I noticed that I needed a little bit more of other types of makeup, if that makes sense. So one of them is the Hank and Henry Slick With It Blickety Black eyeliner. I'm not a big liquid eyeliner fan, so the fact that I really like this is saying something, but I really like this. It has a good sharp point on it. It is just stiff enough. It doesn't smoosh, so it doesn't get wide. You can control how wide the line is very, very easily. I can do my wings with it fairly easily. Really, really enjoy this. In second place would probably be the e.l.f. liquid eyeliner. It has a pretty similar tip. I think the tip is just a little bit softer, but not by much. But like I said, I'm not into liquid eyeliners, and the fact that I like this one and the e.l.f. is saying something. And I know this one is pricey, so more than likely I'll buy the e.l.f. again rather than this. But if I actually had a little bit more money, I'd be buying this again. So the next item is from Alamar Cosmetics. It is their Colorette Blush Trio. I have the palettes and the brushes from this brand. This blush palette is absolutely beautiful. And when I got it from BoxyCharm, I was using it every day. And it was not hard to use it every day, which is really, really nice. Right now, this would be the shade I would be using. I didn't use it today, though. This would be the shade I would be using. In the summer, I can use this one, or late at night, if I'm going out, I can use this one. I haven't figured out if I can use this one, but if I did, it would be like for, you know, really natural golden glow kind of day on a winter day like today where it's not very bright. Beautiful palette, really high quality pigmentation, absolutely beautiful. If you can get a hold of it, I do recommend it. And the next item is a highlighter, and you all should not be surprised by this one because I could not stop using this for a while. Again, not using it today, but this is the Becca that I got last month in my BoxyCharm, and this is the shade Vanilla Quartz. I love this patterning they've done on here. They have several other shades, but this is beautiful. It's got beautiful shine. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous highlighter. Beautiful gold color, and you can build this up beautifully and keep it down. So this is, I don't think I would purchase this, unfortunately. Becca's a little bit above my price point, but I do love this highlighter a lot. And it's, most of the time when I have box stuff that I've tested, it ends up being moved out of my stash for the following month when I shop my stash. This one stayed in, and it will probably stay in for January as well. It's beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we've got only a few more things left. I'm going to get into two brands that I'm interested, that I've actually really fallen in love with, and one of them I'm going to go ahead and just put it up front because most of you should know it by now, and that is Hip Dot. I love the quality. Now you will notice that there's palette missing, and the only reason it's missing is because the colors overall, while there were some nice deep reds and purples in it, it was generally too neutral for me. But that doesn't mean the quality was anything bad. It was a beautiful palette. The only palette I've had issue with on terms of quality was the Legendary, and that's because it is glitters that you're supposed to be able to use without using glitter glue, and it didn't work that way for me. The palettes that I have kept include the C-Note, which is my first palette. This is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Beautiful colors, beautiful shines, the mattes work. It's just a beautiful, beautiful palette. Above ColourPop, and in fact, I used the newer palette today, along with Pat McGrath, and it stands up to Pat McGrath. So this is from C-Note. Oh, I didn't put anything on that one. There, the thumb. So that is from C-Note. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. It's beautiful. Honestly, and their prices are good. There's 15 shades in here. So they're priced about $2 a shade when you put them in a palette. So they're around ColourPop on pricing. I think the quality is much, much better. Next, I have my Rio palette. Y'all know I had to keep this one when you see it. That's the Rio. These glitters are very similar to those in the Legendary. I've tried to use them. In fact, I have one from the new palette on my eyes now. It just doesn't work the way they say, at least not for me, and my daughter has used them. So that would be my only caveat, is that the glitters are an issue. And my daughter, one of my daughters uses glitter all the time, and she's had trouble with them. So that's the only caveat. That's the only reason I would not recommend Legendary. But the other palettes are great. I still want to get the SpongeBob one. Not into SpongeBob, into that palette. But these are beautiful. This one is all mattes except for these glitters. And again, got some beautiful, beautiful colors. That's a yellow showing up on my skin, guys. And this is with no primer, no anything to help them stick. And with primer, they're even better. They're just so, so beautiful. Their newest palette is called Opulence. This is like their Christmas palette, and I do believe this reminds me a lot of Christmas. This is the Christmas palette that I kept wishing people would introduce last year during Christmas, when they were introducing nothing but browns, and I was like, this is not, what is this? Why are you putting out these palettes that look like everything else from the year, just with the pop of blue or whatever? It just nothing they put out reminded me of Christmas. This does. This is beautiful. I will swatch a glitter from here. I've used the gold glitter today. I've used this red. I've used this purple. I used the green in the past. I used the blue. I want to grab the silver, but I'll have to grab that in a bit. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to do it on this side. So here's the glitter. Goes on great on your hand. They swatch beautifully. Look at that. Did you look at that? They're gorgeous. Gorgeous. Let me get this silver and this lighter color. I think I use this lighter color as a topper. It seems to work best that way. You know, some shades are intended to be a topper. All right, so we're going to grab this silver and this topper, which comes up a bit more gray in the silvers. You can see that topper. That topper is kind of white with a gold cast. Beautiful, beautiful. Highly recommend their palettes. I believe this one is 36. No. This one might be 36, but I'm not sure. The SpongeBob is definitely 36. The other two are $30. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And they have staying power. That's with a wet wipe. Look at that. They're still there. Even the yellow is still there. Beautiful palettes. Beautiful. Love them. So, Hip Dot. Highly recommend Hip Dot. There are some people who are like, this has got to be one of those cheap brands or whatever. No, this is a serious brand. It's a beautiful brand. The last thing I have to show you is also, it's a single palette, but it is again a recommendation for the brand, at least with the eyeshadows. Haven't tried anything else. Same for Hip Dot. I need to try some of their other stuff. And that's the Lethal Cosmetics. This was a present from my husband this year. These colors, just like the Hip Dot, are really beautiful. Let's see if I can clear some of this. And let's see, I'm scrubbing and they're still there a little bit. There's still faded bits of them. It takes work. These are gorgeous. Again, you're looking at some really beautiful colors. Now, this is more of your high-end stuff. This is not going to be quote-unquote affordable, but I believe these are worth it. In fact, they have another palette out that I want to get a hold of, but this is from Lethal Cosmetics. Again, you're looking at beautiful shades, pigmentation. They work together really amazingly well. They really, really do. And they stick as well. They're beautiful. They're very soft. They blend well. Obviously, they have some stick-to-itiveness. It's another brand I recommend. Now, you can buy, pre-made palettes. I'm trying to think of how this works. You can buy individual singles, but the individual singles are going to be more expensive than Well, depending on how many you get. If you're only get 4 singles, then get the 4 singles, because getting the custom palette like this will be more expensive than the 4 singles. That's all there is to it. But when you get a palette like this and you buy the 12 shades to fill it, there's a dot at my green. Okay. When you buy the 12 shades to fill it, they give you a break on the cost of the shades. So 12 shades, I don't know what the total is, but this palette is about $45 to $50 for the whole thing. And the palette itself is a nice sturdy cardboard. It has a beautiful mirror in it. I think it's a real good deal, especially for a high-end brand. And again, another brand that I've fallen in love with, and I want more from this year. Alrighty, so we have rambled on, and but that is it. And I forgot something. One last item. I actually got a package of 3, might have been 4, facial sponges from someone that I purchased some things from. And I fell in love with using them. And I went looking around, and I finally found a fairly affordable package of facial sponge. These are on Amazon. I hate to have to buy them on Amazon. But these are the compressed facial sponge for professional use. They are 100% natural, eco-friendly, 50 compressed cellulose sponges. What's your brand name? I will link them down below. This is the box they come in. I've been using them. My daughter's been using them since sometime this summer, I believe. And we still have quite a bit to go. As you can see, you get the whole package. It comes in like that. This is what an individual sponge looks like. When you get this wet, it expands to a full-size sponge. And it looks just like a sponge, but they work really well on the skin. They're very gentle, but at the same time, when it comes to the masks and things, it really helps get rid of everything from the mask. And I don't necessarily have to use like a washcloth or whatever. I really enjoy these. Now, that comes with a caveat. It's winter for us right now, so we're having a lot less heat. The humidity is still high because we're getting rain, but we're having a lot less heat. In the summer, however, you need to watch these very carefully, and when they will start to discolor, and that's because with the high heat and the high humidity and the moisture from what you're using them for, they will start to mold. Once that happens, you need to throw them out and get out a new one. But that said, I have used them for at least a week in the summer, and I've been using the ones I have now for a little bit longer, for 1 or 2 months now. I do try to switch them out. A lot of times I will take the one I've been using as for my cleanser and make sure to clean it out real good and switch it over to being one to remove my masks and just get a new one for my cleanser. So that helps reduce how many I use at once. But they do last a while when it's not too hot and humid. And like I said, they're just great. So that's my one tool I have fallen in love with this year. Alrighty, so that's it for the day. That's everything that I've loved in 2019, stuff that I'm using repeatedly or that is holy grails and that I highly recommend. A couple of brands, a couple of mostly specific products for specific things. Some of them not for what they're supposed to be used for, but they still work. And yeah, so these are things that I will continue to use. I can't see myself switching this out for anything else. It would have to be utterly amazing for me to use something other than this. And yeah, so I should stop saying and yeah, so and move right along. So that's it for today, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do like what you've seen and you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. If you do subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. When this goes up, it is after Christmas. I already planned when this one's going up. It's after Christmas, but before the new year. And I can already tell you, so for Christmas week, I only uploaded 2. This will be the last one for that week. I do not know what's being uploaded between now and New Year's. New Year's Eve is my anniversary, so I may not get around to filming anything for that. So we might just end up going to 2 videos a week starting now, but we'll see. I'll see if I can get a 3rd one in for the final week of December. No promises. Can't promise anything, but we'll see. My Shop My Stash and my Reverse Rouge will not be filmed until January, and so they will be late this year, for this month. But other than that, we are starting to transition into uploading only 2 days a week, which will be so much easier on me, not just money-wise, but also time-wise. And that would be Monday and Friday. But we also have my son uploading my Geek Box every month. Well, he doesn't upload it, I upload it. But we film it, and it's unboxing every month, so you can see that. That should be coming up fairly soon as well. And I do indie brand openings most of the time, at least once, well, usually once a month. It'll probably be a little bit less for 2020, but we'll see. And also in the summer, I do garden videos. We do a container garden, and hopefully this summer we will do it again. I enjoy the gardening. We're just been having a lot of issues because the weather has been changing so dramatically lately. So if you want to see any of those, you will need to have that bell clicked so that you get notified when they go up, because they do not go up on our regular days. If you are part of my notification squad, you'll want to check both your bell and your subscription to make sure they're both still active, though I don't foresee any problems with that. And if you choose not to subscribe, I would understand. This was a long one. They're not all this long. This was a long one. I did try to keep it much shorter, but it was a long one, I agree. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea. However, you are always welcome here because we love having the company. We also hope that you all had a wonderful holiday week, and you have a wonderful new year and a great 2020, and that you will come back to see us again. And if you do come back to see us again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. So this has cooled down a lot. We've been at this for a while, for a lot longer than what you're seeing. So this is cold. Ooh, cold is good. So I'm going to give it a taste and go ahead and get on out of here. I gave it a little bit of a taste, but let's give her another one. That's nice. I do think that it's still slightly over sugared, but you do get the chocolate. That is really, really nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Hot and cold. Tease, I think I want this one. I think when I'm done with this one, I'm going to put this in my want to buy again bag. It's really, really good. Enjoy it. Alrighty, so that's it for the day. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.